statement ably made, it's now time to take comments.
Minister wants to see the state.
Is anybody going to comment from my left side? Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statement ably made by my colleague, Akwesi Asiedu, Member of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, it's a very timely call for us as members of Parliament because of the need to improve on our usage of LPG in our homes. As the statistics show, a lot of homes in Ghana are not using LPG gas. Though in the urban areas, predominantly within the Greater Accra, Ashanti, Western, amongst others, you have high usage of LPG gas. The total population of Ghana who uses LPG is quite on the low. And that means that a lot of people are using fossil fuels, that is charcoal, amongst others, which is not good for our environment. And so how do we equip and resource Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company to be able to perform that role and function? As indicated, over the past years, the company has not been doing well in terms of their books because government has not released adequate funding to support their corporate objectives and goals. And so my clarion call to government is that this is an important state asset. As we try to leverage Ghana Gas to absorb them and then support them, Ghana Gas itself has been suffering. Ghana Gas has not gotten its own statutory mandate. It doesn't have its own act that governs its rules. And so on what basis and how well are they going to take care of the needs of Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company? I believe that we need to look beyond Ghana Gas as a supporting arm for Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing. It should be an intentional government policy. It should be an intentional government budgetary allocation to support Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company so that they will be able to deliver on the numbers that we need in Ghana. Ghana has a lot of space to improve on our climate condition. Ghana has a lot of space to improve the use of LPG gas as against the use of fossil fuels, charcoal, amongst others. The only way to mitigate that effect is to ensure that Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company is adequately supported, and we can support them with budgetary allocation. The Ministry of Finance should find the necessary money to support them. The Ministry of Energy should also give them the needed support and cooperation, since the ministry has green transition also attached to it, and the green transition can be successfully done if we're able to support Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing. My call to Ghanaians, also the entire nation, is that we should all have a look at improving on the use of LPG. The rural communities, how do we ensure that we give them access to cylinders? Will government even subsidize the cylinders for them so that a lot more people will be attracted to use it in our homes? I think this is a bigger conversation that as a country we need to look up onto. And so, Mr. Speaker, without more, I want to thank the maker of the statement for bringing this important statement up. In fact, I will go to the extent of urging Mr. Speaker to refer this particular statement to the Committee of Energy and then Ministry of Finance to work collaboratively. And the Minister of Energy has just walked in. We are talking about Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing. Please support them. Let's improve the climate change, and let's make sure that Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing performs its work dutifully as enshrined in their work. Mr. Speaker, without more, I want to thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, Minister responsible for energy.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you very much and to commend the maker of the statement. If you don't know me. And I can just hazard, there's only Honorable Charles Asiedu who will make this brilliant statement. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I must be honest, I just walked in a head Ghana cylinder, and being my passion, I thought that I should seek permission from you to make some few remarks. Mr. Speaker, I just want to dwell on Ghana cylinder without taking too much time. My office has been working with the MPA, of which my elder brother headed before, and Ghana Gas to revamp Ghana cylinder. I can confirm that so far, the estimate shows that they need about $8 million to be able to revamp it. We've been able to mobilize about $6 million for them. And the retooling is going on. In fact, if you look at what they've produced this year, it's more than double what happened in 2024. And so we are on course to revamp Ghana cylinder. We are on course to retool it. Not only are we doing that, we are giving them off-taker agreements and setting an escrow account. So that as part of the cylinder recirculating model, as minister, I've issued a directive that will recall all the old and obsolete cylinders so that Ghana cylinder would retrofit them and make them useful. And also we've signed an agreement with GOIL so that GOIL will be the off-taker for the cylinders as part of the Ghana cylinder recirculation model. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me assure this House that we are on course towards retooling Ghana cylinder and making it a modern factory fit for purpose. What we intend to do is that eventually we'll ban the importation of cylinders and insist that all these cylinders and canisters ought to be procured here in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I'm very grateful for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Tampoli.
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the opportunity to give some reflections on the statement ably made by my very good friend, Honorable Asiedu. Mr. Speaker, I feel very compelled to, share some perspective on this subject matter, having regard to the fact that I was once the CEO of the regulator of the downstream petroleum industry, and then we did quite a lot of things to bring back, the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company. Mr. Speaker, at some point, we have to even support them financially, be able to get them to take care of some of their recurrent expenditure. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the fulcrum around which the cylinder recirculation model of LPG distribution was built was around GCMC, so that they will be producing the cylinders. Mr. Speaker, at some point it became so obvious that they did not even have the capacity to produce the number of cylinders that we needed in the country, and we had to go on tours across the world to be able to get some partnership with GCMC so that they'll be able to get the cylinders. So we introduced even a margin in the price build-up of the LPG so that we'll be able to use that one to procure cylinders on a large scale so they'll build their capacity. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we even thought at some point that the current location of GCMC on the Spintex Road, has outlived the usefulness for which it was sent there. Back in the days, the entire Spintex Road was almost like an industrial enclave. Today, there are a lot of residences and then commercial facilities. So we're proposing at some point that we'll move the company to the industrial enclaves so that the company will be able to expand. But as it is right now, where they are, it is not expandable. So, Mr. Speaker, the main key drivers of, getting this thing done is underpinned by 3 A's, as we call them: affordability, accessibility, and availability of LPG, so that we'll be able to do cylinder recirculation model across the country. Mr. Speaker, across the sub-region, it's only in Ghana that we currently have this model where we have bullets sitting in residential areas and people filling their LPG, and sometimes there's a blast. And examples abound. So, Mr. Speaker, you go to Togo, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, all across the sub-region. Nobody does what we are doing. They all have cylinder recirculation model. You go pick up a pre-filled cylinder, you pay, and then you give them an empty one. Anytime that you have need for more LPG, you just go and then do a swap. And we think that that's a better arrangement, and it can only be done if we give Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company the commanding heights of that industry so that they expand, create more jobs. In any case, I'm sure that it will be one good example of where we can do the 113, right? 133, Mr. Speaker, 133. They can work, shift, and they can work 24 hours. Mr. Speaker, they have that capacity to do this, and I think that the maker of the statement got it spot on. And this House has to support this initiative, and I'm happy the Minister himself is here. And Minister, over to you. We are looking at how you are going to make this happen, and then we'll support you from this House. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, minority leadership.
Speaker, I think it's okay. We can proceed.
Very well. Majority? Yes, that's the end of that statement. The next statement is D, standing in the name of Honorable Vincent Eko Asafwa, Old Tafu. Very well. I would humbly ask that the statement be published in the Hansard for him. So the next statement is E, standing in the name of Mr. Sebastian Fred Day, Member of Parliament for Kwando.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to make this statement in support of supporting smallholder farmers in Ghana, the role of financial institutions with tailor-made innovative financial intermediation. Mr. Speaker, I want to also use the opportunity to thank you so much for admitting this statement months back, and because of the lapse of time, I will abridge it and, with your leave, perhaps ask that the entire statement as submitted and admitted by your good self be published in the Hansard. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to draw attention of this House and the whole world to the critical importance of supporting smallholder farmers in Ghana, who form the backbone of our agricultural sector. Mr. Speaker, agriculture employs over half of our population and contributes significantly to Ghana's GDP. Despite their crucial role, smallholder farmers remain among the most economically vulnerable in our society. Mr. Speaker, today, I wish to emphasize the need for a strategic, well-coordinated approach to supporting smallholder farmers, with particular focus on one very innovative financial institution in Ghana called Opportunity International Savings and Loans Company. Mr. Speaker, it is well documented that smallholder farmers constitute about 70% of Ghana's farming population. Largely, these are farmers who manage less than 2 hectares of farm land. Mr. Speaker, they play a vital role in ensuring food security, reducing rural poverty, and supporting our overall economic development. However, smallholder farmers face numerous challenges, including limited access to finance, inadequate extension services, poor market linkages, climate change, and post-harvest losses. Mr. Speaker, addressing these challenges holistically is necessary if we are to achieve food sufficiency and sustainable rural development in our country. Mr. Speaker, access to finance is one of the biggest barriers to growth and prosperity of smallholder farmers. Mr. Speaker, according to the 2025 Global Findex report, rural populations in Ghana remain underserved by financial institutions. This financial exclusion reduces productivity and exacerbates poverty. Mr. Speaker, one institution that has taken deliberate steps to bridge this financial inclusion gap of smallholder farmers is Opportunity International Savings and Loans Company. Mr. Speaker, Opportunity International Savings and Loans Company has been operating in Ghana for over 20 years. They offer innovative financial products tailored to the needs of smallholder farmers and agribusinesses and micro-entrepreneurs. Mr. Speaker, Opportunity International's agricultural finance programs adopts the value chain financing approach, and they focus largely on seasonal loans to farmers. They offer financial literacy training. They facilitate linkage with buyers and input suppliers. They offer mobile banking services to rural farmers, allowing them to save and transact business without traveling long distances. Mr. Speaker, this combination of credit, training, and market linkages has helped thousands of smallholder farmers improve their productivity and incomes. Mr. Speaker, let me share the story of a farmer called Ama Mensah, who is a maize farmer in Bono region. Through Opportunity International, Ama received a first loan of an agricultural loan in 2024, which she used to purchase improved seeds, fertilizers, and hire tractor for plowing. In addition to the loan, Ama benefited from training on good agricultural practices and financial management. Ama's case is similar to that of Ekuya Bledela and Kujira in my constituency, Pando, in the Volta region, and Kofi Osei in Abotuase in the Oti region. There are several of such examples in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, Ama's maize yield increased by 70% after adopting modern farming practices, and with improved market access facilitated by Opportunity International, she was able to sell her produce at competitive prices, and today, Ama is not only feeding her family, but saving to expand her farm and her children's school fees paid in advance. Mr. Speaker, there are countless of such examples. Mr. Speaker, whilst institutions like Opportunity International, we as policymakers, and I refer specifically to the Parliament of Ghana, we as policymakers must aim at creating an enabling environment to scale up these efforts of rural farmers, or smallholder farmers for that matter. We must put in policies that will ensure pragmatic policy interventions. Mr. Speaker, a dedicated fund for agriculture, which will be statutory in nature, is required. Mr. Speaker, the next policy I wish to put on paper is a PPP arrangement or PPP delivery of extension services to bundle services to smallholder farmers. Mr. Speaker, the next policy proposal is to expand digital financial services to smallholder farmers. In a nutshell, there are 7 different policy proposals which are well documented in the statement, and I wish that the Hansard would capture it in its entirety. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, smallholder farmers, supporting them is not just an agricultural policy matter, it is a national development imperative. By ensuring that our farmers have access to financial tools, training, and markets they need, we are investing in food security, poverty reduction, and economic development. Mr. Speaker, I believe that this is embedded in the vision of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in all the agricultural policies that have been laid before this House, and we are therefore encouraged to adopt them. Mr. Speaker, it will empower farmers, strengthen our rural economies, and ensure more prosperous and food secure Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I think the rules has already been set. We are going to have 2 contributors from each side, and the time is 5 minutes. So we will begin from Honorable Samuel, member for Akuapem. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, also permits me to break protocol by extending my deepest condolences to you. Mr. Speaker, listening to the Honorable Member of Parliament and the maker of this statement, I would like to commend him for bringing the plight and the issues of our farmers, and especially those who practice farming not on that commercial scale, but on a smaller scale. The Speaker, amongst the things that he also listed as part of recommendation, which I also support him, is the establishment of an agricultural finance support fund. I believe this will also go a long way to help many farmers, and especially also help reduce their burden, and also serve as an incentive for many banks who also want to support and partner them in this regard. So, Speaker, in the area of the public-private partnership, I believe that is also one area that we can also look at in supporting many of our farmers who are in dire need of the financial support. So, Speaker, while at this, we can also not gloss over and pretend that the role of government as a major player in the agricultural sector can be washed away. The Speaker, it is a tragedy for a small-scale farmer or a farmer cultivating on a smaller scale to sweat, put in all the effort, and at the end of the day, the government will turn its back on the farmer. The Speaker, I'm bringing this issue as a matter of urgent concern, that we have many of our farmers today who do not even find a way to even go into farming in the next planting season. You have that of your maize. After harvesting it, issues of even storage becomes a problem. The issue of cocoa is still fresh on our minds. Many of our farmers we are talking about are not even cultivating on a 100-acre scale, 200 acres, some 20, 10, 5 acre. And if they can also have this major crop, and still government will not even buy from them or pay them, then it becomes a disincentive for some of these farmers to go into farming. Whilst we have cocoa issues to deal with, you also have that of rice. You have many of our small-scale farmers and many of our farmers in the rural communities who are keeping the nation going. 70% of what we do is coming from the farming, from the agricultural sector. What is the role of government in helping these farmers when they cultivate, when they go through all the hassle in putting food on our table? So it's important that as we also try to establish an agricultural fund, government must also play its critical role and not turn its back on these farmers. You talk about yam, you talk about rice, you talk about maize, you talk about cocoa. So there's something serious happening at the agricultural sector. That, right, Honorable Speaker, I believe that we also have to take a critical look at. Yes, we can have PPP, the private-public partnership. Yes, you can have a fund being set up. But the critical role of the government in ensuring that you provide these incentives for these farmers for them to also continue to hold us down as a nation. It cannot be rhetoric all the time. Mr. Speaker, it cannot also be lamentations all the time. Once we have a problem, we must fix it. I support the maker of this statement in this regard, and I believe that other members of Parliament will also contribute effectively to this statement. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, my brother. Yes, Professor Young.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this very important subject and the discussion, and to thank the maker of this statement for touching a very important and sensitive matter, which has to do with financing for smallholder farms. Mr. Speaker, as the maker had it spot on, the chunk of the food we get from this country come from the smallholder farmer. The smallholder farmer plays critical role in providing food for the people of this country. Unfortunately, they go through a lot of difficulties. They have numerous challenges. And then financing is one of the critical challenges that the smallholder farmer faces. And so there's a need to find a way of addressing this critical matter, Mr. Speaker. Financing smallholder farmer has been a perennial problem. It's been long outstanding. There have been a lot of interventions to support smallholder farmer to be able to enhance farming. Unfortunately, a lot of these interventions have not been successful. And one of the critical challenges is the fact that the high interest rates that normally come with the loans makes it very difficult for the smallholder farmer to be unable to access the fund. The Speaker, I worked closely on a project, on a media project, which was supposed to commercialize smallholder farmers. But one of the difficulties that the project faced had to do with financing. They took the farmers through what we call the starter packs, which was very successful and very promising. But when it got to the time of providing financing loans for the farmers, it was a big problem, because we noticed that a lot of the farmers were running away because of the high interest rate. Mr. Speaker, there's a need to look at this particular issue and see how we are going to make financing accessible and affordable for the smallholder farmer. Mr. Speaker, it is important, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we are able to address the following challenges in order to ensure that the smallholder farmer is able to stay in business and continue to feed us as a country. One of the challenges in commercializing a smallholder farm is the fact that they have fragmented lands, so which makes it difficult for them to commercialize. And so there's a need for the agric ministry to see how can we put them into cooperative, and so that they can have their land together and they can do commercial farming, Mr. Speaker. The other important thing is the food glut. As we stand now, the country is battling with food glut because we don't determine prices for our produce, which is very, very important. So we must find a way as a country and see how can we fix prices for food produce, because the farmers cannot predict how much they will sell their produce, and it's a very challenging thing. So they invest so much, and when they harvest, they are not able to sell get realistic prices for their produce in the Speaker. The other important thing where we have to do is to consider the industrialization, rural industrialization, to ensure that we find industries that are suitable for a particular place and grow it so that the farm produce can be transformed into a more marketable produce for them. For example, if you go to an area where you come to northern region, we have the potential for producing.
Thank you, Professor Anza. Your time is up. So, yes. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this brilliant statement made by our colleague from Pandu, Sebastian Day. The Speaker, this statement exposes a painful truth about our farmers, our smallholder farmers, and what they go through. Mr. Speaker, for decades as a country, we have paid lip service to the support of our smallholder farmers, especially in financing. Mr. Speaker, our sisters like Kenya have been able to move on from not financing smallholder farmers to an era whereby smallholder farmers can access facilities within days, not weeks, but within days. They've been able to build a proper digital platform for the smallholder farmers. Mr. Speaker, if you may bear with me, the previous government started a digital project which would have been very solid for our smallholder farmers. But I know that when we come back, we'll be able to do that. Mr. Speaker, banks in this country should be able to develop products, tailor-made products that will help our smallholder farmers. I was intrigued to read from his statement that, with your kind permission, I may read. He said, Mr. Speaker, we cannot overlook the critical role of women and youth in agriculture. Women constitute the majority of smallholder farmers. Women constitute the majority of our smallholder farmers. Mr. Speaker, I'm being mindful to Order 93.5. If women constitute the majority of our smallholder farmers, Mr. Speaker, I would advise that this statement should be taken with keen interest, in the sense that his own government told all of us that they are going to establish the Women's Development Bank within 6 months. If this bank had been established, our women would have access to facilities that will help our smallholder farmers. So I advise the maker of the statement to make sure that this statement reaches the doorsteps of the Flagstaff House. Mr. Speaker, our Deputy Finance Minister also came here and told us that there are banks that are offering facilities at a rate of 10% to 11% per annum. Meaning there are banks in this country that can help our smallholder farmers. So I also entreat the maker of the statement to also make the statement available to our Deputy Finance Minister, so that our women will be able to see the light of day. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. My brother, are you up on your feet? Okay, let's hear you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to seize this opportunity to thank the maker of the statement and also bringing to fore some of these things that are plaguing our farmers, especially when he mentioned Opportunity International Savings and Loans. For the past 20 years, they've been committed to the farmers, and it is across wherever their branches can be found. Unfortunately, agriculture happens to be the only way that the majority of Ghanaians could be employed. Yet, successive governments in and out come, and then they fail to address this particular challenge. This has actually affected how our young farmers, how our women appreciate farming in our country. Most of our women are persistent farmers. Most of them, they don't farm large scale. Yet, it is very difficult for them to access credit. What most of this micro scheme they do is to train whoever is coming for funding from them. So they help you, they impact the skill, you open an account, and then they also cultivate into you the habit of savings. So there is a direct link with this type of funding and then financial inclusion. And also financial inclusion has impact on economic development. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the maker of the statement, what has been put before us, it is clear that there are certain pertinent produce like pepper, like maize, like vegetables and other things that most of our women are into. These are things that we can easily support our women to go into without necessarily having to fall on importation or having to go to our neighboring countries to bring them. I don't want to recall these unfortunate incidents where our people from Ghana go to neighboring countries to bring tomatoes, and then the unfortunate happens. But this is the crux of the matter, that when we don't pay attention to funding and also supporting these young and women in agriculture, these are some of the emergencies that come our way. We want to state that as a country, if we indeed want to reduce the unemployment rate, this is the way to go. Because when you have somebody like a woman in farming, it is not just the woman, but whatever it gets out of farming comes to affect a whole family. And that is the way we support our mothers, have supported us till this time. Anyone who comes from any agric environment or any farming environment, you see that women play a critical role in having to raise their families up with the menial salaries or menial sales they get from their farm produce. So helping them access credit is not just like the bank is trying to make it off them, but it's a way of bringing potential people to have a sustainable lifestyle. It is time that our rural banks, our microcredit facilities also turn attention to some of our communities and begin to support them. Sometimes, most of them even charge unrealistic interest rates. So it ends up that when you support the farmer, at the end of the day, the farmer is unable to pay, and then it becomes quite a delinquent and non-performing loan. We want to state that in as much as we are looking at this to support farmers, we should also look at practical ways of having to give credit to our women, having to finance our people so that they can pay back. When it comes to my constituency in Pro East, there are rural banks who are supporting pepper farmers. It is very good because they look at the climate condition and then they support you. So we should also factor the climate conditions that our farmers go through. Let us begin to support them with irrigational facilities so that even the whole year we can have this farming going on. We thank the maker of this statement. And Mr. Speaker, I believe this statement will not end up on our shelves as always, but we'll put it into action, and then the ordinary Ghanaian is supported. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, honored members. 2 contributors have been exhausted. Leadership.
Speaker, thank you for this opportunity, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the maker of the statement, the MP for Pandu. Speaker, I guess we look at what's happening in respect of smallholder farms. One would divert the mind to, first of all, the problems they are confronted with. Speaker, largely it has to do with issues of land litigation. When they are dealing with about 5-acre land, somebody comes and says that I'm the owner of the land, and then they end up having all manner of litigations. Speaker, beyond the litigation is also the issue of access to financing. And when they get the financing, difficult as that may be, they are also expected to pay a lot of interest on those funds. And Speaker, the other aspect is also normally the issue of drought. There is a lot of environmental issues, and then when they are even farming, they end up having issues of drought. Speaker, 90 to 95% of farming activities are within this remit. And therefore, one would expect that farms in Ghana, which are about 90 to 95%, are smallholder farms. Speaker, they produce major food crops that we keep talking about. One is maize, one is cocoa, one is cassava, one is yam, rice, cocoyam, and plantain. Speaker, in recent times, all these staple foods I've mentioned, especially rice, Speaker, yam, maize. Speaker, these farmers are having a problem to even transport them. One. Apart from transportation, Speaker, they are not getting people to buy them. The market is virtually